Hey everyone, we are back with another video to share all of the product launches and news that dropped on BIKEPACKING.com this week. But we need to figure out a name for this video series. We had thoughts of the new news, the weekly roundup, Neil at 9. So if you have any good suggestions, leave it in the comments section below. Let's get into it. So if you like what you see in our videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. And if you want to help support us, you can do that by signing up for the Bikepacking Collective. The Bikepacking Collective is BIKEPACKING.com's annual membership in which it helps support all of our videos, everything on BIKEPACKING.com, but it also includes industry discounts with a variety of brands we work with. It automatically signs you up for monthly giveaways and includes the Bikepacking Journal, our biannual print publication. If you're interested in learning more or just want to sign up, there's a link below. Speaking of Bikepacking Collective, announced just last week, we are giving away a Fairlight Faran 2.0 frame set to a lucky Bikepacking Collective member. Logan recently reviewed the Fairlight Faran 2.0 frame set, and that review is linked below if you're interested in checking that out. I know we give away a lot of awesome things through the Bikepacking Collective, but a frame set, that's probably pretty hard to beat, so good luck everyone. BMC just launched their URS LT, or Unrestricted Long Travel gravel bike. Sure, it's a gravel bike. It's got gravel geometry. It's not that much of a bikepacking bike, but the interesting thing about this bike is it features a new fork with 20 millimeters of micro travel suspension built into the steer. In my 2020 prediction video, I did mention that there was going to be a short travel, big volume suspension fork that was going to be launched. This is definitely not it, but this is kind of cool. First off, the fork is a coil sprung and oil dampened design that is completely concealed in the steer tube, with the hydraulic damper sitting above the crown. I'm just thinking about all of that in there. That's gotta be really hard to service. The 20 millimeter fork is designed to have 25 millimeters of sag, so that leaves you with 15 millimeters of travel, which doesn't seem like a lot, but BMC mentions that adding a suspension fork up front allows you to run harder tire pressures or more tire pressure, so that you don't pinch flat or flat your tire. But I think this style of fork is pretty cool because it still maintains the benefit of carbon. Carbon forks are manipulated in a way that creates a more comfortable ride, not to mention they dampen vibrations. So maintaining that carbon ride quality while adding 20 millimeters of suspension is pretty cool. Mind you, BMC mentions that this specific fork is made for this specific bike, so it can't be thrown on a different bike. But it was pretty funny. Miles showed this to me right away, and the first thing I thought of was the Fatty D from Cannondale. BMC was obviously inspired by Cannondale's head shock design, and it even spurred a handful of comments in our dispatch post on BIKEPACKING.com between gravel and mountain. So if you're interested in checking that out, it is linked below. Ever since I started seriously mountain biking 10 years ago, from time to time, I find myself on eBay just looking for these Cannondale head shock classics because I definitely need to own one at least once in my lifetime. Earlier this summer, we got a sneak peek of Jack the Rack, which is a nearly universal handlebar mounted rack. On Friday, we published a review of the pre-production rack that they gave us in anticipation for their Kickstarter launch. If you haven't seen Jack the Rack, it is a pretty cool design. It's a handlebar mounted front rack that is secured in place using just 2 straps. This means you don't need to worry about bosses, eyelets, or tools to attach the rack to your bike. And as long as you have sufficient clearance above the front tire, there's a strong likelihood that Jack can work for you. The rack is made of a single rod and some 420 denier fabric for the platform. The rack cantilevers over the front wheel and it can hold up to 5 kilograms or 11 pounds. But Miles mentions in his review he probably exceeded that weight limit without issue. Miles tested the pre-production version and used it on several different styles of bikes as a platform for basket packing, hauling pizzas, and even as a way to carry his pack raft. For more information, compatibility, and just general thoughts on the rack, make sure to check out Miles's review, which is linked below. But for $80, I don't see why I shouldn't own one of these racks considering how universal it is. The 2022 Rocky Mountain Element just launched and it looks awesome. I'm a sucker for efficient full suspension bikes, and this looks like it fits the bill. The redesigned element comes in both alloy and carbon and features longer travel and a massive triangle. Rocky Mountain joins the trend of downcountry rigs, redesigning the element around a 130 millimeter fork and 120 millimeters of rear travel. And like most full suspension geometry trends right now, the head tube is slacker and that seat tube is steeper. The massive frame space will not only help fit a nice custom frame bag, but it also has the ability to fit 2 water bottles within the frame. The Element was actually my wife's first full suspension mountain bike, and she used that quite a bit for bike packing. But this design is very 2021 or 2022, but it still has that bike packing capability, which we love about the Element. The Element starts at $2,559 USD for the alloy and $4,259 USD for the carbon. Hopefully we can get our hands on one of these at BIKEPACKING.com because it sure looks promising. Salsa Cycles just released their 2022 rangefinder, which includes new paint and 8 different build kits. Launched in 2020, the rangefinder is somewhat of a dumbed down version of the Timberjack, which makes it a fantastic bike for folks looking to not only explore mountain biking for the first time, but also bike packing. Yes, this is an entry-level bike, and oftentimes people ask me or say, $1,000 bike is not an entry-level bike. But actually, yes, it is. You want to know why? Because an entry-level bike still needs to be somewhat reliable. It needs to have decent components, and it also needs to have a reliable frame set, something that's not going to break on you. And that's exactly what you get with this rangefinder. The rangefinder both comes in 29 and 27.5 plus wheel options. It comes in a wide variety of sizes from extra small to extra large, and all of the new colors look pretty sharp as well. The rangefinder has a price range of $1,049 to $1,599. The rangefinder is going to be available soon at your local Salsa Cycles dealer, so definitely hit them up. I would assume they're probably going to go fast considering their price and the bike supply shortage. Finally, I just want to end each one of these videos with a little thought. And today's thought is I really truly love the cinch system. This is a system from Raceface in Easton. The cinch system not only allows you to easily replace chainring, but I also find that these cranks, the turbines, the Next R, the Next SL, they just are super reliable. I've had a Next SL crank since 2015 and it hasn't failed me yet. And I just got this new Next R crank so that I don't have to swap over Raceface cranks from bike to bike. And now I have Raceface cranks on nearly all of my bikes, whether they are Shimano or SRAM driver. So Raceface cinch system, Raceface cranks, I highly recommend them. And no, this is not a paid advertisement. I just really like them. All right, everyone, thank you all for tuning in. If you have any comments or questions regarding any of the products I spoke about today, make sure to leave it in the comment section below. As always, until next time, pedal further.